Today, we're diving deep into the savory seas of clam chowder. But before we slurp up this creamy goodness, let's ask ourselves one important question. What's the scoop behind this iconic dish? That's right, folks! Clam chowder isn't just any soup. It's a culinary legend that's been warming hearts and satisfying taste buds for centuries. So subscribe and grab your spoons and let's embark on a flavorful journey through time. Our adventure begins in the rugged coastal villages of 18th century New England, where hardy fishermen braved the crashing waves in search of their daily catch. Picture this: salty sea air filling their lungs as they hoist nets brimming with fresh clams onto weather-beaten decks. With bellies rumbling and fingers numbed by the chill, these resilient seafarers sought warmth and sustenance in the heart of their humble kitchens, and thus the legend of clam chowder was born. But what exactly was this early incarnation of chowder like? Well, it was a far cry from the creamy indulgence we know today. Imagine a bubbling cauldron suspended over an open flame, filled with a simple yet soul-satisfying broth. Clams, freshly dug from the sandy shores, were tossed into the pot alongside chunks of hearty potatoes, diced onions, and savory salt pork. With each simmer and stir, the flavors melded together, creating a dish that warmed the body and nourished the soul. This early version of clam chowder wasn't just a meal. It was a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of New England's coastal communities. It provided sustenance to weary fishermen and became a cherished tradition passed down through the generations. As the winds of time swept across the shores of America, so too did the evolution of clam chowder. In the 19th century, this hearty maritime dish embarked on a journey that would take it from coast to coast, each region putting its own unique spin on the classic recipe. In New England, where the tradition of clam chowder was first born, chefs began to experiment with new ingredients and cooking techniques. The result? A creamy, indulgent version of chowder that would come to define the region's culinary identity. Meanwhile, on the opposite coast, a different interpretation of clam chowder was taking shape. In the vibrant kitchens of California and the Pacific Northwest, chefs embraced the bounty of the sea and introduced tomatoes into the mix. The addition of tomatoes added a tangy twist to the traditional recipe, creating a lighter, more refreshing version of clam chowder that captured the essence of coastal living. And thus, the great chowder divide was born. Creamy versus clear, East Coast versus West Coast. It's a showdown as epic as the Clash of the Titans! On one side of the ring, we have creamy clam chowder, a rich and indulgent concoction that's as velvety as a summer sunset. Made with heavy cream, butter, and a generous helping of clams, this version of chowder is like a warm hug for your taste buds. But don't count out its opponent just yet. Clear clam chowder, also known as Rhode Island style, packs a punch with its light and brothy base. Made with clam broth, potatoes, and a hint of herbs, this chowder lets the flavors of the sea shine through. So, which side are you on? Team creamy or team clear? The choice is yours, my friends. And there's no wrong answer. After all, variety is the spice of life. And when it comes to clam chowder, there's no shortage of delicious options to explore. Believe it or not, clam chowder's popularity isn't confined to the shores of America. In fact, this beloved dish has inspired culinary creations around the globe. From France's velouté de palourde to Japan's miso clam soup, chefs everywhere have put their own unique twist on this timeless classic. It just goes to show, good food knows no borders. Do savor every spoonful of creamy goodness. Don't be afraid to experiment with different toppings. Bacon bits, anyone? And most importantly, do share the love by passing the chowder bowl around the table. Well, folks, that's a wrap on our Clam Chowder Chronicle. Thanks for joining me on this mouth-watering journey through food history. Until next time, stay hungry and keep exploring. And remember, friends, life's too short not to indulge in a little chowder cheer.